crisis that has affected the people. The Inter-University Students' Federation launched a demonstration this morning. The protest was launched opposite the Fort railway station, and they are currently passing through Maradana. We have Newsfirst Charlene Benedict joining us with the latest. Charlene, what is the latest that you've got for us from the location?
I'm reporting to you from Maradana, where the Inter-University Students' protest that began at the Fort railway station is now marching through this area. As you can see, there are many students, obviously representing the Inter-University Students' Federation, present here today. And this protest has been organized in support of the protest that is being held at Galle Face opposite the President's office. There are demands similar to the demands of those protesters opposite the President's office in Galle Face. They are demanding for the government to step down. They are demanding for the President to step down. And of course, the flow of traffic in this area has been disrupted due to this protest. There were many other roads that were also closed down by the police prior to the protest beginning. However, instead of traveling from the Fort railway station directly to opposite the President's office where the main protest is taking place, these protesters instead moved in the opposite direction. They moved towards Technical Junction, then traveled along Sri Sangaraja Mawatha, and now they are here at Maradana, and they will continue to march on. These protesters are once again demanding for the government and for the President to step down. Stay tuned to News First, as we will continue to bring you the latest updates from this protest and many other protests that have been organized here in Colombo and the vicinity. Reporting for the News First team, I'm Charlene Benedict from Maradana.
The protest that was launched by the Inter-University Students' Federation is currently underway. These protesters began their demonstration opposite the Fort railway station at about 1 p.m. and our protesters and our reporters have been bringing us the latest updates from the location as the demonstration continues. What we have heard so far is that these protesters are now marching through Maradana, and they expected to head towards Galle Face. Now, earlier today, when the protesters began their demonstration, we saw the police trying to read out a verdict issued by the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court with regard to the protest. However, the protesters who had gathered opposite the railway station had raised their objection against the police from reading the court order that was issued yesterday. Yesterday, the Colombo Fort police moved court seeking a court order to prevent any violence from taking place during the demonstration. However, the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court had denied the request to issue an order to that effect. The court had ordered that the police could take any legal action against the protesters if any violence of that sort erupts during the demonstration. Now, as the protest by the Inter-University Students' Federation continues to take place, we have some very important piece of information for you with regard to roads that have been closed at the moment. Now, several roads have been closed since this morning in line with the protest based on the order that was issued by the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court. We have Newsfirst Ahmed Buso, who was touring the streets of Colombo since this morning, trying to tell us as to what roads have been closed at the moment. And what we have heard so far is that the Bank of Ceylon Mawatha is closed. Chatham Street is also closed at the moment, and according to our reporter at the location, York Street has been closed. However, vehicles travelling through York Street towards Colombo Fort have been allowed to pass by, and Bastian Mawatha continues to remain open. Now, News First will continue to keep a close track on the roads that are closed so that you might be able to avoid travelling through these roads as the demonstration continues to run throughout the day. Yes, we actually contacted our correspondent at the location, Charlene Benedict, who is following the Inter-University Students Federation protest that is taking place at the moment. The latest is that the protesters are currently at Punchiborel in Maradana. Now, in the same time, there is also a massive protest that has been ongoing opposite the President's office in Golface. Nisal Surirachi has the latest for us from the location.
See behind me, the roads have been blocked completely. Police are ready with tear gas and water cannons to face any situation that may arise.
The protest at Golface opposite the President's office in Colombo is running for its 16th day. These protests have been taking place for more than 2 weeks. We have seen large crowds of protesters gathering at Golface, continuously demanding that the government, the President, the Cabinet and the Prime Minister must resign in light of the crisis that has affected the people. Now, a very interesting feature of this demonstration is that we can see a high presence of young people, activists and artists also joining the demonstration that has been running for several days now. And the demand of these people is that the President and the government should resign and take accountability for the current situation that the country is facing. Yep. Yes, and with that we bring to a close these updates from the ongoing protests that are taking place in Colombo. Just to give you a recap, the Inter-University Students Federation is currently staging a protest. It is currently passing by through Punchiborel, and we also have one demonstration taking place opposite the President's office in Golface. Just a quick reminder, you might want to avoid the Bank of Ceylon Mawata, which is currently closed. Chatham Street is also closed at the moment, and York Street is currently closed, but however, vehicles can move towards Colombo Fort through York Street. News First will continue to keep you updated with these latest developments.